that want to be entrepreneurs, but it just kind of stays at that, just the idea. So like, what are you really doing? Like, what was the steps from you just to have this idea? Now you are who you are now. Because I know we got kind of like some of the similar story. How
you're
had
asking me?
you had a good job.
Yeah,
well, that's how we're going to talk about. You don't have to go in grave details right now.
I'm gonna start. Oh, okay. Oh, that's what we're talking about. We
but I mean, you know, we in here talking a little bit. You know, talk a little
shit. I ain't where I want to be at yet. I tell you that. Let me get one of these drinks. It'll be my
you're just trying to take over the world. That's different.
I am. My last drink.
You're just trying to take over the whole world.
I can't work for nobody else no more. I just don't see myself. If I do, I just can't see it.
I know that feeling. feeling. Once you get a taste of that fucking, excuse my expression, I don't know what I'm allowed to say in this, but when you get a taste of that, when you get a taste of that freedom of being your own boss and calling your own shots, making your own schedule, you can't go back. And people, man, people look at you like you crazy when you say, "I'm good. I'm good. I'm gonna do my own thing." You know what I'm saying?
I had everybody looking at me like I was crazy. I left the government job, GS11, nice and comfortable. So when I said that, they was like, "You good? You ill?" People was concerned.
I was crazy. Same thing.
Check that will. You gotta look at that will real quick.
Yeah, they like, you leaving those good government benefits and so on and so forth. And what are you doing? And I'm gonna be honest. At first, it kind of had me scratching my head, like, "But damn, what am I doing?" Because I done had businesses for a while, but I kind of did both. But there's something in the Bible that said you can't serve two gods, and I kind of feel like the same way with the whole entrepreneurship. It's either are you all in or you halfway in. So when you all in with it, like it needs your time, it needs your effort, it needs everything from you.
I'm gonna tell you this, and a small piece of when you literally dependent on something to eat, you work extremely hard at it. I tell you that right now. If you're doing it as a side, if you're doing it as on the side, it ain't never gonna see the success that it could have if you all in legit. Oh shit, I'm looping a little bit, boy.
Especially like the ones like Cat. I got it.
Trouble, do you have both of the bios? You have all the bios for everybody?
Hey, congratulations.
No, I don't. So what I'm gonna do is
I was busy last 2 days sending
out
orders. Hey, Alice.
I have the one for Locke.
I'm gonna have everybody pretty much go around and talk about a little bit about yourself. It don't have to be in grave detail.
Okay.
But just a little bit about who you are, what you do, and what you plan on doing. Then we can get into this whole point. How did you create this idea, and now it's actually something that manifested to something great? But man, I love to see this Black excellence. Like it means everything. Juneteenth coming up, it's great, man. I love it. I absolutely love it. And people think that I did this test with my kids before, and I said, "Hey, close your eyes and think of a wealthy white man or whatever," and they named some business owners and stuff. And then I said, "Hey, close your eyes, think of a wealthy Black man." 99.9% of people gonna think of like entertainers, rappers, and stuff like that. But they're not gonna tell you about a business owner per se. Not to say that entertainers is bad at all, because it's it's good stuff. We still making our money. But other than entertainers, we still have, man, we got business owners, we got a lot of good stuff out here.
Right. Oh,
so
man,
that's why I want people to focus. Because you don't hear kids say, "Hey, when I grow up, I want to be a CEO." It's like, I want to be a basketball player. I want to be a football player, which is great dreams. But, if that don't work out, now what?
Right.
Yes, ma'am.
What do you want me to do? Am I an interviewee or am I an interviewer?
You talk about all your things that you got going on.
Okay, so I'm an interviewee. Thank you. Okay.
Yes.
I just wanted to make sure. He said,
yes. Welcome to the bottom.
And this is to let
from the
people
bottom,
know.
now we here.
Not everybody. I mean, some people. I know some entrepreneurs that opted and stand in their business. Stand in their jobs, which I still respect. Because at one day they might just say, "Hey, look, I'm gonna do this full time," or whatever. No, because if you like what you're doing, do what you do.
I was one of those people. I did it for 10 years.
See, okay, hold on. See, I'm gonna look at that because, in my opinion, I'm gonna say this: if you got a stream of income coming in already, hey, there ain't nothing to say I gotta cut. I do agree that you should go all in. I'm gonna say, hey, look, if this money is coming in over here and it's good, and I could take this X amount of hours and turn the X amount of hours into X amount of money, now I just increase my streams. You know what I'm saying? So I get what I like that. I like that. But definitely. I do like what you said. I do like what you said about
like for me, 100%. When they did the pandemic, everything was shut down and the government let you telework. So I came up with this idea. I said, man, during this telework time, I'm not gonna touch none of my government money. I'm act like that joint don't exist. I ain't know it was gonna last for 2 years.
Right, you right. Nobody saw that coming.
I didn't see that joint coming. But time go past. I look at my bank account. I'm like, sheesh. I ain't never seen that much money in my life in my account. I'm like, I ate without the government. And at the time, my job kind of changed because at first I was on, or it ain't gonna matter what I say, Fort Belvoir at one point. Then they said, yo, you gotta go to the Pentagon. And from where I live, the Pentagon, an hour and 30 minutes. And I'm like, yo, I'm not about to do this Pentagon hike every day. Right. So, we started doing some math, and I'm like, you know what? It makes more sense that I just go and take this leap of faith. So I just did it,
Oh, they was trying to have you commute every day.
Man, to the Pentagon, because they was like, yo, stuff about to open back up. Because I'm thinking we're going to work every other day, or at least have my little telework days. They was like, nah, 100% you got to go in the Pentagon every day. Yep. And I said, yo, that's 3 hours driving. That's that's been off some regular stuff. Yeah. If it's bad traffic,
3 hours.
I'm going to be planning traffic for like 4 hours.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I'm like, is the quality of my life, worth the money I'm getting from the government?
Exactly.
Because you can make all the money in the world, but never be able to spend it.
Yeah. Yeah, I left a government job. That's why I left my job and started doing my own thing. So,
you left during the pandemic too, right?
I left after the pandemic. I actually just left October last year. So when I officially was just done. I'd already planned it though,
Nice.
But I left that cushy, bullshitty money. Like I consider we really did nothing.
Were you scared?
But was I scared? I was terrified. I'm still terrified. But
I feel you.
I did it for them for that long. Manage people, manage their business, manage their funds. When I left, my job title at one time when I left was a Scrum Master. So
let me go grab some water real quick.
When I left, I was terrified. I'm still terrified, but the successes that I get outside of it is way too positive to go back.
Definitely. And I'm gonna be honest, I'm starting to enjoy the rush.
Yeah, it is. It's a hit you get off.
I kind of like the rush of it.
And now, and also what I've noticed for me, it opened up other opportunities for me to have multiple streams of income. Because at this point right now, like the way everything is flowing the way it's supposed to now, the multi-streams are pretty fire to have. You don't have to depend on one thing, and you can divide your energy up. Shit, I'm talking about getting into one more business. I just kind of got talking to somebody about, and it's a lot. I'm about to make about $800
a lot of opportunities out here, man.
It is. You just gotta how to jump out there, and you don't need a lot of money to start. You just gotta stay in your lane and understand your costs, and be dedicated to it every day, every fucking day. Don't stop, even on Sundays. Sometimes I'm checking emails.
Like I was telling somebody recently. Let's say you don't even want to be no entrepreneur, but you good at selling stuff. Man, you can go to these small businesses and be like, look, I'm gonna bring you people in. I want cash money for every person. They're gonna do that.
Yeah,
I'm gonna do that. I'll pay you cash money.
With this little spot out here called Nighttime Gaming out here. I'm actually talking to the owner. I'm trying to get him in the metaverse and established in here. I'm not gonna build him a world, but I want to bring him into the metaverse and kind of partner with his company as a back end for promotions. You know what I mean? I just talked to him this morning. We've been talking back and forth, but I'm not trying to make the meta my funds of income. Everything I'm doing in real life is real life stuff. I'm not using meta or the metaverse as a way of income. If I do, it's just if I get money from it, fuck it. If not,
I feel you.
I'm not going to depend on it.
But I like how you talked about bringing like outside companies into the metaverse.
Absolutely.
And I feel like if we all can kind of do that, there's so much money, so many ways we can eat off of that.
Absolutely. And even my son
I was just telling somebody, if you just stay around venues, just stay at venues, because new people come to venues first, and be like, yo, I'm gonna pop a portal, I want to show you what I got going on, or whatever the case may be. So like if you design worlds, as soon as they come in, hey, what's going on, blah blah blah, hey, I'm a designer.
I actually have a new world I'm putting out probably in the next 2 days. I'm working on it. And it's actually a design starter world, because I run into a lot of people who want to build worlds, and it keeps explaining how you start and the patterns and the colors is a lot. So I built a world that has everything it's got multiple world layers. So we can go through, you can pick your color, you can pick your shades, you can pick different designs. If you see different assets I have that I use, if you like this, you can mix and match and physically see it, because people come in this space and don't understand like capacity, even the chart with the capacity I got in there, everything, even different letter and color. I put it all together. Me and my friend Southern did it. And it's actually a 4-part world.
I need to take
a 4-part world. Well, you can walk through it and you can pick your colors, because when you talking people, reds look different when they in solid and when they in metallic or metal. It comes out different. So people really got to see that, understand light and all that stuff matters in people's perception of a world, you know, and how the experience is going to be. But yeah.
That's dang, yo, I love what you got going on. That's what's up.
Yeah, because I got tired of, I can't, you know, the best ideas come from out of necessity. And when you're talking to people, you keep explaining it and explaining it, and they don't, some people don't get it and some people do get it, you know, but when you can put it together in one space where they can, and they don't have to be with you, they can casually go browse in their own time. I don't have to be in there and then come back and say, hey Kat, you know, I like this, I like that, and ask you, we can springboard questions off of what they observe, and then we can go into detail, you know, further down the line. And that gives them a good starting point. And even if they take the information and go, I want that world not to just be for me. It can be like, let's say if my homie Genesee want to build a world for somebody and she want to show them, hey, these are options and lettering that are available. And this is what I can and can't do. For anybody who wants to bridge that gap between creator and customer, or just, you know, just showing somebody. It's a little cool little thing. Oh, y'all got to answer for my grandmama. That's my best friend. I'm sorry.
It's time to get started.
Hello?
I love it. I love it. All right, hold on. Everybody go ahead and get started. I'm waiting for Kat for a quick second.
Yeah.
You know what? Hey, real quick. Let me hit you out real quick.
All right, mute yourself right quick, Kat.
Okay, that's fine. All right.
All right, guys, we about to go ahead and start the show. So today's segment is from idea to empire. We have a couple of entrepreneurs sitting at the table with me. They have great success both in the metaverse and real life. And we're just going to talk about how do you get from just a normal idea to something as a brick and mortar or as a long-term business that you're going to get benefits from. Now, not to say that you guys have to leave your 9-to-5, because, hey, if you like what you're doing, do what you do. However, if you want to be an entrepreneur full-time, these people here are going to show you how to do it or how they did it. So I'm going to start off. I'm Trouble 703. Well, 1911 on here. A lot of places. I'm 703. Real name is D. Parker. I'm an entrepreneur myself. I'm a firearm expert, overall investor, and I do a little bit of everything. Army veteran, 8-year, and I'm your host. Katniss.
All right, so I'm Katniss. I have multiple streams of income outside of the metaverse. The metaverse, I'm gonna say it's a small part, very small portion, but you know, small business owner, I guess you could say. Well, that's awkward. It's new to me, so it's kind of like, you know what I mean?
You still got it.
Exactly. And I'll let everybody else go around.
All right, Locke.
Hey, what's up? I'm Locke Dade. You know, I'm same thing, small business owner. I like my 9-to-5, and we ain't gonna talk about it too much, but I definitely, I'm hyped to share, you know, my journey, you know, and where I'm at and where I'm going, you know.
All right, Miss Sands.
Okay, hey. I'm Black Sands. I am currently not in business right now. I do work a regular, I guess I'll call it a 9-to-5. It's a little bit difficult, but I run an entrepreneurial school. I am the dean. I'm a statewide dean. And so I go around to the different campuses and make sure that their programs are set up. I used to teach entrepreneurial classes and host workshops. But I am an entrepreneur at heart. I did own a daycare while also working full time. So it can happen. And I did that for 10 years and it was a lot of fun. I had a couple of spin-off businesses from that, and we'll get into that a little bit more as we go along with that. But yeah, I enjoy entrepreneurship. I enjoy owning my own business and being my own boss. So yeah, can't wait to get into it.
That's great. That's great. So one of the things that we're going to talk about is just the idea of what do you want to do. A lot of times people, you know, when we growing up, it's like, what do you want to be when you grow up? Everybody asks you that. What do you want to be when you grow up? 90% of us, we really don't know what we want to be when we grow up. So we have all these different ideas. It's like, I can do this, I can do this, I can do this. Everybody in here have had an idea of something that they wanted to do. But what was the factor of the idea and the actual work behind this idea to make it happen that you had to kind of go through? So, I'm sorry. Why am I lagging out? Okay. Sorry about that. So from this idea, how did you become the person that you are now? So, Kat, we're going to start off with you. What was your main idea? Because I know you have so many other things that you do.
Yeah, but mine came from, I always knew I was a leader. Always, since I was a kid. It's natural, right? Okay. And when you're a child and you're growing up, your parents kind of guide you into where they want you to go. And I did that. I graduated high school, went to college. I graduated Bowie State, went from Bowie State to Catholic University. Got my master's, and I went into a job. I went into a regular job. I did the right thing. I did what everybody said you're supposed to do. And I wasn't happy. I liked my position in a leadership role. I liked being a supervisor. I loved it. I love organizing, but I worked hard for ultimately somebody else, their success. And when I realized, why am I not happy with my job? I make good money, I got good friends, it's functionable, it's tolerable, but I still wasn't happy. So I said, maybe it's time for me to really jump into this little peak. But this is the catch. My mom has been a business owner since I was a kid. I was born. Nice. And I always knew that, and I always kind of drifted that way, but I was scared because knowing and growing up, seeing it, I know the ups and downs. That was the scare of it. But also, I kind of just jumped out there. I planned myself about 2 years before I actually made the move. And I planned, and I based my businesses around things I enjoy, what things I know about, and things that so I can kind of incorporate what I like into a business and just figure out how to make it work, whether big or small. So I had a couple of motivating factors too. I also have a 16-year-old son, and I wanted to leave him something and show him that you don't have to work for anybody else, and that education doesn't measure you. It doesn't mean you're better or smarter than the next person, at all. Literally, because he's 16 and he owns an ATM machine, a Bitcoin. I bought him a Bitcoin ATM for Christmas 2 years ago. That's what's up. He has a vending machine in his school. So I'm trying to teach him how you can make income, and even if it's not, life changing, you can organize and you can have things you own. So it's just
that's crazy. Not to cut you off. I don't know if your son has been on TV or not, but I feel like we show so much on TV that's the bad about what our people of color may do, but something like that, I need that to be everywhere. I need that to be on YouTube, news, and everything else like that. But it's very respectable, very very much. All right, Mr. Locke, what you got?
So okay, for me, keeping it real short, not getting too cryptic, but I would say it's interesting that you say that. My mom, I never even really thought about it. She was a business owner the whole time I known her too. She was always, she was always, I don't want to call her a hustler, but she was. She's like one of the first general contractors in the state, that we grew up in. She always was doing something. She taught us a lot of stuff growing up. So I think that's where it came from. But for me, my path really, I always wanted to be, like you say, you was a natural born leader. I think I was manufactured. You know what I'm saying? I got a lot of experience. You say you're from the military. I got some military in me too, about 2 decades, right?
Nice.
So I got a lot of leadership experience. But for me, it was more of, hey, what am I going to do now? And I was like, what is my strength? And my strength for me was always being a bridge. And that sounds weird, right? Because bridges get walked on by people, right? But the way I was looked at it is the only thing I wanted to do was be able to get people from a point A to a point B, point blank. Like I always wanted to be that person to push people along because I had a lot of people do it for me, coming up. So for me, it was just being a bridge for somebody to get from point A to point B.
Nice. So you pretty much had like the roadmap to get where you at. Man, that's a blessing. As far as me, just to touch a little bit, I didn't know any entrepreneurs until I became an entrepreneur. So I made so many mistakes in the beginning. And, we all know when we first starting off, it's a phase. In general, people always see our success, but they don't see what it took for us to get this success.
Absolutely.
I mean, personally, I've had cars repossessed. I've almost got put out of apartments in the past. And this is when I was in this good government job, but I was feeding my business so much money, I kind of neglected other stuff in my life. So to find that balance, it kind of took me a little while just to say, okay, well, this is for business. This is for this. Because I mean, I was all in, man. I was putting every dollar I had towards the business. What about you, Sam?
I actually started my business out of necessity.
Nice.
I had been laid off from work. I was a consultant at the time, doing a lot of traveling, and really enjoyed it. But they had a lull in the business, and so what they call put you on the beach. So they put a bunch of us on the beach and said they'll call us when they have work. And I got to thinking, I got a little bit of money saved up, and I've always wanted to start my own business. I always knew I wanted to be a boss. And so I was good with kids. I always, all my life, I had a little babysitting company when I was in, high school and middle school. So I was like, why not? And so I started the in-home daycare. And just when I got everything off the ground and running, then my job called me back, was like, okay, we got a job for you. We're going to send you to Canada for a few months, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, yeah, I'm good, and it hurt a little bit because that was good money. That was benefits. That was a black card. You know what I'm saying? That was all of that stuff. And I was like, I got my daycare. I'm finally living my dream. And, I was making enough money to be self-sustainable. So, yeah, it was out of necessity. My father's always been in my ear because he's the one that actually gave me the idea of not necessarily opening daycare, but working with kids in general, And so I was like, I got my business, and I decided not to go back, to the regular 9 to 5 and stuff. And he goes, well, what you going to do for insurance? You know what I'm saying? What you going to do for, those types of things? And I was like, okay, good point. And so I, applied for a part-time position over at the school that I'm at now as just an adjunct faculty because it came with benefits. And they actually ended up hiring me full-time. And so I had some highs and lows because I was torn because I was like, well, I don't think I can run this daycare full-time and work full-time, And so I actually shut my daycare down until that following summer. And because I had such a flexible schedule as a, full-time faculty member, I didn't have to necessarily be on campus the whole time. So with hiring an employee and just, tweaking my schedule, I was able to start my daycare back up and again, run that for 10 years while also working full-time as a faculty member, at the community college. So yeah, that was, it was definitely a blessing for me. I had a lot of fun, and the babies. You gotta love the babies, right?
Oh, we love little people.
Gotta love the babies.
We love little people.
Gotta love the babies.
So if you guys up there, you have any questions or concerns, you guys can feel free. There's a mic up there. Click global, and you can go ahead and talk. Because this is kind of like an open discussion, open dialogue. I want to know, do you guys have your own business up there?
I'm a serial entrepreneur at this point in my life.
I know
literally.
That's right.
I'm dumping money into everything. I'm in.
I like that. A serial entrepreneur.
I'm gonna tell you. I have.
So you got to hit the global button.
Man, it's crazy. It's crazy. But I love it though. I do.
So click your trigger finger. Black Storm, you're on mute. First of all,
you're on mute.
So click your trigger finger first.
There you go.
When you pick up the microphone.
Yeah, she just unmuted herself.
There you go. All right, she ready.
Hello?
Yep, we can hear you.
Hi. I've been pretty much working for myself for...
Can you click the button again?
Oh, yeah.
Click the button again?
You gotta click the button again. Use your other hand. Trigger finger.
I'm gonna make it easy. Hold up. Let me reset something real quick. Give me 1 second. Just reset that. I'm about to go and get her. Give me 1 second.
I like that. A serial entrepreneur.
I'm a serial entrepreneur. Wait till I tell you how I make my income. I'm a
Sorry
serial. I
about
get a
that.
high off of this at this point in my life.
I'm gonna bring her down.
I get high off of this.
I like it. You got good energy.
Oh, there you go. Come on. Go to one of the open mics.
Come on down.
Once you get that one hit and a success, it's like a drug.
Oh yeah, that's facts.
Hi, Blackstone Boss. How y'all doing? What's up,
Hey.
Thank you for the invite. Appreciate that. I've been working for myself pretty much for like 7 years. I did like several different things, office work, and healthcare. So I did like administrative assistance and all that kind of stuff like that. I just did like a class in certified nursing assistant, and before the pandemic, I got me a client. I'm a private client. Mm-hmm. So I took him, out of the those houses that, house those other assistants, stuff like that. I took him out of there and went totally private by myself. Mm-hmm. I signed up with the government and started getting paid through the government straight out.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
Okay. So I bypassed all those, people that was telling me that, you got to work for me and I'm giving you all your benefits. No, I get my own benefits. I got my own paycheck and everything else. I report to my client only. Nobody else talks to me.
That's what I'm talking about.
So, and I love it. I've been doing that for a long time. And during the pandemic, oh my God, shush. It was amazing. I was like, yes.
Mm-hmm. Pandemic made a lot of people rich. I'll tell you that.
I definitely feel like the pandemic
took me into a different tax bracket.
The government, it was like so much money they was giving us through the government, just to work through healthcare.
Mm-hmm.
Like that.
Yeah, I definitely feel like
I was trying to get everything I could get through that program.
What's up, Bacon?
Yo, good morning. Good morning.
You can sit in the chairs over here, Bacon, next to Island.
All right, gotcha.
Yeah, I definitely feel like the pandemic, some people said the pandemic was bad. Some people said, it works out for them. When I say bad, I mean far as, money wise and far as business and entrepreneurship. Some entrepreneurs, they thrived in it. Some of them, they just didn't. So the pandemic is, a good thing or bad thing for you guys?
I'm gonna say it was a good thing for me. I'm gonna tell you guys how this even came about, right? Pandemic hit, boom, I'm working for the government, we're working from home. Now, I'm a scrum master, but I'm a supervisor, so I'm working like crazy. I always was working crazy anyway, and I was like, oh, I hate this job, but I love the money, right? That whole little spiel. And I'm gonna tell you what took off, and I'm gonna tell y'all, because people just finding out part of what I was doing. Well, OnlyFans took off. Now, I never was on OnlyFans, right? But I have a cousin who's in the industry, and she always used to give me advice about just business, because that is her, their self-business. So I'm like, man, I'm not that type of person. I'm not about to do all of that. So, but my mind thinking the way it thinks is, well, how can I make money off of it? Because, how am I doing it? So my first thing was, when I got this VR headset, was right when the pandemic had first started, because the PlayStation 5 sold out, And I'm like, man, I'm always on Twitch. I'm always gaming. Let's see what we can do. Got in here, and I learned how to make money through Pornhub and VR. And I don't do any performing at all. I do nothing. I'm the one with the contract with them that started it out. Mm-hmm. The first month I got a check from them for $400. Second month, so what? $400. The next check was $6,000. The next check was $7,000. Oh my! I said, this is a drug. Get me in here. I start expanding more. People just start coming. I start expanding more. So right now I got 3 people that work with me now, work under me. And the checks are regularly at least $5,500 a month, and I do nothing but work maybe 2 hours, 3 hours a week on editing. And that's things I already knew how to do. I already was computer literate. I already play the games. I'm already on the VR more hours than I need to be. So I said, can I make some money on this? So I contacted Pornhub, and I said, hey, let's get a contract together. This is what I am. And it's like, all right, well, you gotta have this, you gotta have that, you gotta have this, and this is what you gotta do to make sure people are 18. These agreements, they sent me a bunch of contracts I can keep, and we did an agreement, and it has been consistent flow of money since then. So from there, I was already working on my path to do my own thing. My brother, and the other one, my brother had a CDL. He worked for a company for a long time. I was always in the cars and stuff. And I'm like, I don't mind driving. He never had the financial backing in his criminal history. He couldn't go anywhere. But I always had the financial backing. So I'm like, I got to doing some research. I went and got my CDL off that little money in between me working. I didn't need a CDL. I had a government job. I just wanted to get it to have it, right? And then when I started seeing how logistics shot in the air, I was like, damn.
Yeah, definitely.
Went and turned around and got my hazmat. I just bought me an oil tank. I just bought me an oil truck a month ago. I got it delivered 2 weeks ago. I'm putting that bitch in the road this week. As them wheels are going to move. Every freaking day, them wheels are going to move. And it's a guaranteed
Bacon, can you mute your mic, sweetheart?
Like at this point.
Thank you, sweetie.
Let's get this roll. And that's what kicked it off. Now I'm in the point right now, agent in our area. Me and him just went and looked at some real estate, literally just plots of land, because now I got to park them trucks that I own instead of paying.
That you do.
I pay a lot, $1,000 a month just to park them trucks when they're stopped in Maryland. There's so many people I've met now with these trucks that have the same problem. They own dump trucks and stuff. Okay, cool. I'll buy this piece of land, low maintenance. I don't need a storefront. Put some fencing and security up. Maybe one person to work there, 2 people. I'm gonna buy this plot of land for $30,000, charge them $800 instead of y'all paying $1,000 over here.
Nah, that's
it's
real.
Literally the easiest passive income.
Yeah,
like,
that's smart as fuck.
I'm already in the industry, and guess what? I get to park my 2 trucks there for free. They gonna be able to hold 30 vehicles. Like, yes,
yeah, that's
smart as fuck, bro.
Yes,
yeah,
I'm doing this.
Congratulations on that.
In Georgia, man, these boys.
Hold on, quick. What you say, baby?
Yeah,
come on up.
In Georgia, these folk paying every bit of $800 to the park.
$800 minimum.
Because of that, just because of that new law.
Just
it's a new law it's a new law that you
can't have in residential areas. It's so strict.
Cat ain't lying about that. You hitting their ass in the my cat.
That plot of land cost me $30,000. It cost me a Camry. Fuck a new car. That's what my.
So you said the new law. What was the new law
that came in? Is truckers they can't park in residential areas, so they got to find somewhere to park. So
yeah, there's a lot of restrictions.
She's smart and she owns some real shit. I buy a lot and I charge these motherfuckers to park on my lot. Yeah. Tell their ass up, bro.
As long as I have 2 trucks parked there, even if they only if they there for a week, it covers what I need to pay monthly to keep that pile of land till it's paid off. I really don't even. All I need is 2, and then shit. And the way it's going, I already making income from the other one to cover that. Shit, if even I gotta get you a deal, 1 month free. Buy 6, get 1 free.
Hey, you guys hear it? You guys hear it now? Buy you some land.
Buy you land and make sure it's commercialized land. And think about it. How much maintenance am I gonna do? Making sure there's no potholes, putting up, and like the agreement says, I'm not responsible for your security, but I'm putting cameras in, I'm putting a fence up. You gotta lock these vehicles. This is pretty much a party.
That's why we all need to either rent to own or just buy, bro.
And then what I did with my son, I bought him a vending machine. He started with a vending machine for Christmas. 1 year he thought he was getting a PlayStation. No, baby, you got a vending machine. Guess what's in the vending machine? School supplies, chapstick, all the little shit that they need in school. We put it in the school.
Oh, you put that in the vending machine?
We put it in the. It's not just snacks and stuff. It's certain things they need. Every little thing they need, even a hairbrush. He got hairbrushes, so he like.
I hate to be hood about it. I hate to be
AirPod,
hood about it. We had a vending machine when I was young. Get what we had in that bit. We had Swishers.
Oh Lord!
All right, well we gonna move on from that.
That vending machine is a good move though.
But all right, what about you, brother? Well, what about you during the pandemic?
You know what? Because of me, I traveled a lot during the pandemic. I was overseas. You know what I mean? So it didn't hit me the way that it hit y'all. You know, I was. You know, I had steady income. I'm gonna say I got real smart during the pandemic. That's really what I did. I'm gonna say I read a book a week for like that whole time. A book a week. And it's funny that you brought up a comment. I don't really want to derail this thing, but we was talking about. I don't know how rap came into this, but I read a book a week because it's like, well, if I'm listening to 2 Chainz, I'm learning how to do what 2 Chainz want me to do.
Exactly.
But if I'm reading like Rich Dad Poor Dad, I'm reading Outwitting the Devil, some Napoleon Hill stuff, some Robert Greene stuff, and I just keep getting. You just get educated. So when it comes specifically when it came to these business books, man, when it came to learning about it, because ain't nobody. What I realize is a lot of people ain't gonna share that. What I'm hearing right now from you, people don't share that information about business. You gotta go seek it. You gotta go get it.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, because they're like, I don't want you to come. I don't want you to come my work. So what I did during the pandemic was just get educated. I started learning about how the legal structure of a business works. I started learning about how, like, what is a tax deduction? What's a write-off? What's the difference between a tax credit and a tax deduction? I start figuring out what the word tax liability meant. I just got educated during the pandemic. That's me though.
Absolutely.
Man, that's great, brother. That's really
good. That's the best thing to learn too. I'm trying to tell you, I got computers. It's all business.
What about you during the pandemic, Sans?
So during the pandemic, I actually ended one business, and then I built and launched a school of entrepreneurship. Is what I did. That's the school that I run right now.
That's nice, very nice.
Now that wasn't my standalone business, so that in that sense, I'm an entrepreneur, right? Because I'm doing it for someone else. But I put everything together. Yeah, I built it, and it was amazing. And this was I basically built my dream job. You know what I'm saying? And in terms of working for somebody else, that's what I did. And so, you know, of course, now I run the school. It took a couple of years, and we're still in our startup mode, honestly. You know what I mean? This is year 3. We started with 4 campuses. We now have 10 campuses that have onboarded, that are offering the programs. We're in the high schools, and now we're pushing to the community to
What
offer
state are
the
you in?
program. I'm in Indiana.
Okay.
Shout out to you,
I'm
Black.
in Indiana.
That'd be
So
awesome.
we have the largest community college in the nation, and we have locations literally all over Indiana. And so, and with our online school, we actually service all of the nation, you know, and even those that are overseas. And so, this is one of the things that, you know, I do give back. We partner with a lot of different companies, organizations, agencies, to, you know, basically, entrepreneurship is right now, you know, and during the pandemic was the best time to get yourself started. You know what I'm saying? And whatever you wanted to do. And one of the things is, you know, I'm very active in the community, so I'm on a few community committees and stuff. And we talked about, you know, individuals that they launched. One company was launching, they were going to make, I don't know what they were making, but they flipped at the last minute to make masks. You know what I'm saying? The N95 masks and all those different types of things for the pandemic, because they're like, well, no point in making candles. Anybody trying to get candles? They trying to stay healthy. You know what I'm saying?
Nah, that's real.
And so these are the things that I will help coach on, and what you do, and how do you, you know, pivot, and what you're going to do, and then whether or not you're going to come back, and how you come back to that, you know. So, pandemic was great for me. As horrible as it was really a great time for me to really sit in my creative space and do what I do best.
Absolutely.
Amen.
So, and that's build and
It
develop.
is.
Okay,
That's
man.
crazy. You're talking about masks. During the pandemic, I seen so many Gucci masks, Louis Vuitton. So in my mind, I'm like, man, I ain't know Gucci made a mask.
No, they did that.
And they still don't. Goddamn it, they still.
They don't.
They made Gucci masks. Man, I know y'all done seen people with the Gucci and Louis Vuitton.
The light up mask. Oh yeah.
Hey, look, I ain't gonna lie, I had a Nike mask, so I thought I was doing something.
Yeah.
I had the Under Armour mask all day.
You know what I did during the pandemic with the mask?
Second,
I started flipping income, like people started shopping online more, like Amazon. I started on Amazon and FBA, and then I branched off on my own. Now I have my own website. I'm trying to tell you, but I get off on it because I'm already a shopper. You can't tell a shopper to find a good deal and then sell it back out. I literally get up every day, and I've engraved this so much into my life. I have made this incorporated in my lifestyle. We can go out to anywhere, and I'm like, this is on sale on clearance. Can I bulk buy everything? You know, and I find, and it's so crazy. I even got friends now. I go in some of these places so much and deal with some of these companies so much. Like, we're friends. They'll call me and say, hey, we got this. Like literally, I'll clearance it out, buy it all up, you know, at a great deal. It gotta be an amazing deal, because I'm gonna come cash. And I bought a trailer for this shit. Like, I literally have incorporated entrepreneurship in my everyday, even in my home with my son. You know, and it's not physically with money, but I teach him, like, okay, my trash goes out every Thursday, right? My house, he's boy, do trash, you know, I don't want to do it. And I teach him it's a cause and effect to everything. If you miss the trash man, guess what? Your phone goes away for that week until the next time he comes around. And it's not to really discipline him, but it's having to understand cause and effect. Your decisions and understanding it, it's being scheduled and being poised. And I do it with everything he does, because he has to understand that everything has a cause and effect, and business can run into your regular life. Even if you want to go work a regular job, you have to still understand how to deal and work with people, you know, to some degree. You know, whether you work from home or not, you still gonna have to. It's so many skills that come
like
along
you said,
with
multiple streams of income is the key.
Yes.
So no matter what happens to you in your life, you got multiple streams of income. You always gonna be relevant.
I want to say this,
Miss Black. Oh, go ahead, Becky.
The pandemic turned me into a Scrooge. I want to keep it like I know it sounds wrong, but I'm really focused on, if it ain't about me or mine, it don't matter. And I need to make sure my household is straight. And I turned into a real Scrooge, like the friendships, the turning ups, the hanging outs, all that shit stopped. And I really turned into a Scrooge. I ain't want to be bothered, and I'm still like that to the day. But what I will say is, when the pandemic hit, I was working at YKK. And shout out to you talking about the changing up careers. Guess what we were doing during the pandemic? I was working at YKK.